बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम।
अल्लाह के नाम से शुरू जो निहायत मेहरबान हमेशा रहम फरमाने वाला है। बेशक हमने आपको हर खैर व फजीलत में बेइंतहा कसरत बख्शी है। बस आप अपने रब के लिए नमाज पढ़ा करें और कुर्बानी दिया करें, ये हदिया तशक्कुर है। बेशक आपका दुश्मन ही बेनस्ल और बेनामो निशान होगा।
लक़द मन्ना अल्लाहु अलल मुअ्मिनीन इज़ बअस फ़ीहिम रसूलन मिन अनफुसिहिम यत्लू अलैहिम आयातिही वयुज़क्कीहिम वयुअल्लिमुहुमुल किताब वल हिकमत वइन कानू मिन क़ब्लु लफ़ी ज़लालिम मुबीन।
नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली व नुसल्लिमु अला सय्यदिना व मौलाना मुहम्मदिन रसूलिहिन नबिय्यिल अमीनिल मकीनिल हनीनिल करीमिल रऊफिर रहीम। अम्मा बाद। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। Respected audience and dear students, the significance of starting the Islamic faith series in the form of Quranic lectures from the subject of significance of prophethood. Why we have started the series from the subject of significance of prophethood, and we took as the first topic to be discussed and explained. Why? So alhamdulillah ta'ala, although there are many aspects, angles and dimensions to explain this particular point, but I elaborated it just in the light of the event of creation of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam and Allah's commandment of prostration and the denial of Iblis from that and getting punished and cursed by Almighty Allah. So this single incident, which have been mentioned at various places in Holy Quran, so I explained this particular angle or this particular point in the light of this incident. Reason was that I wanted to make this thing clear to you that the first divine act enforced by Almighty Allah, first divine commandment revealed by Almighty Allah was on the subject of significance of prophethood and on the subject of exalted and highly esteemed and honored status of prophet, on the subject of honored and esteemed status of prophethood in Islam, and commandment of prostration for respect, for paying respect and honor to the prophet, the first prophet. So this was the first ever divine commandment revealed on the earth. Today I am explaining the same thing in this You can say I am giving another caption and heading to the same aspect. And we can say too that first ever divine act enforced by Almighty Allah in the worlds of law and constitution, the first ever divine act formulated by Almighty Allah, given and enforced by Almighty Allah, promulgated by Almighty Allah, first ever divine act promulgated, was on the subject of exalted and esteemed status of the Prophet. What kind of praise, what kind of respect, what kind of honor, what kind of reverence should be given to the Prophet? Just to commemorate that this is the significance, this is the importance, and this is the pivotal position of the Prophet in teachings of Islam. Before proceeding to the next topic, there is another point which comes to my mind in the light of Quran. Explicitly from the verses of Holy Quran, this point can easily inferred. This is not a matter of exegetical interpretation. This is not a matter of tafsir, just a matter of tashri, of your own choice. This is just based on Quranic text, an express inference from the text of Holy Quran. If you ponder, concentrate on this particular incident and the Quranic statement in this regard, you can easily understand that the punishment awarded to Iblis was not on his disobedience, just on his disobedience. This is a very delicate distinction between two things. There were two things. First of all, he committed act of disobedience by his denial from prostration, or by not prostrating along with the angels, in spite of getting Allah's command, usjudu li Adam fasajadu illa Iblis. All of them were commanded to prostrate for Adam to show their respect and reverence for him. So all of the angels did prostrate except Iblis. So except Iblis, illa Iblis, Abba, he denied. He refused to prostrate. So this is very much categorical on this aspect, that he committed an act of disobedience. And here lies the non-compliance of Allah's commandment on his behalf. But had Almighty Allah awarded him the punishment just on the act of disobedience, then he would never have asked him, why did you not prostrate for Adam? There was absolutely never a need of asking the reason why he didn't prostrate, why he did not comply with the commandment, why he did not obey to his commandment. So absolutely there was no need to ask this kind of reason, giving him a chance to explain the reason of disobedience, to explain the reason of his non-compliance. There was no need of getting this kind of explanation from him. Act of disobedience was very obvious. Act of disobedience was very much clear, undoubtful. So when he didn't, the angels complied with the order and he didn't. So if the punishment was to be awarded just on the act of disobedience, so then there would have been no need of asking about the reason. Quran says, ثُمَّ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ. That all of them were commanded to prostrate before Adam, and all of them fell prostrate except Iblis. And he was not of those who prostrated. He did not join them in prostration. So Quran is very much clear. Now the question comes, act of disobedience has been committed. He has performed a disobedience. So he would have been punished there and then. Whatever punishment he was going to be awarded, whatever divine wrath he was going to get from Almighty Allah, that would have been awarded there and then, immediately after the commission of act of disobedience. So there is no logic of asking the reason why you didn't disobey. Almighty Allah never asks. If there is no other chance, the question is asked that if there is other chance too, well, let us ask why he is not prostrate. Maybe he has this thing in his mind, maybe he has this problem in his mind, maybe he is confused, maybe he is not clear on the commandment, maybe there was any problem in his mind, maybe he asked for forgiveness. The question and explanation is only asked when there is some other option, when there is some other possibility, when there is some other chance. And if it is the decision that he has committed an act of disobedience, a direct denial of the commandment of Almighty Allah, and hence he is to be punished, then the order of punishment would have been issued. But this was not done. Act of disobedience was very obvious and it was there, and Almighty Allah still asked him, قَالَ مَا مَنَعَكَ أَلَّا تَسْجُدَ إِذْ أَمَرْتُكَ. Allah said, what prevented you that you did not prostrate when I commanded you? What was the reason of not prostrating? It means that the punishment which was awarded to him was not just on the act of disobedience and act of denial, but it was based on something else, which was directly connected with the denial, with this act of disobedience, which was really the basis of that denial and disobedience. And what was that? When Almighty Allah asked, what is the reason why you did not prostrate in spite of getting my commandment? He said, Ana khayrun minhu. He compared himself with Sayyidina Adam. Khalaqtani min narin wa khalaqtahu min teen. He has been created from dust, clay, and I have been created from fire. So I think I am better than him. So he started discussing the formula of Bashar, his Bashar philosophy. He is a Bashar, he is a human being, he is a man. So he does not deserve to be prostrated by me. Why should I do that to him, to a Bashar? I should prostrate only to you. And I do it. One thing. And he started comparing him with himself. This courage of comparison, the basis of gustakhi, disrespect and dishonor. So when he expressed this thing, that he is a man, he is a bashar, he is a human being, or I am better than him, he compared himself with him. So when he uttered these words of blasphemy, these words of disrespect and disgrace and dishonor, only then Almighty Allah stated, قَالَ فَهْبِتْ مِنْهَا فَمَا يَكُونُ لَكَ أَن تَتَكَبَّرَ فِيهَا فَخْرُجْ إِنَّكَ مِنَ الصَّاغِرِينَ. Now Almighty Allah said, get down, get out from my nearness. There is no place for your arrogance You have been deprived of my mercy till the day of judgment. Get away, get down. So he was awarded the punishment soon after, when he expressed his gustakhi against Nabuwwah, his disrespect against the Nabuwwah. In fact, this was a denial of the esteemed status of Prophet, denial of the exaltation of the status of Prophet, denial of the esteemed respect and honor blessed by Almighty Allah. This status of Prophet, this was denial of, in fact, that thing which took place apparently in the form of denial of prostration, which was shown or which was demonstrated, which came into existence in the form of disobedience. The real act, the real motive, the real incentive behind the act of disobedience was gustakhi of Rasul, of Nabi, disrespect and disregard to the Prophet, not accepting the extremely high and great status of Prophet given by Almighty Allah. So he was not ready to accept that, because he was concentrating on his bashariyah. He was looking at his bashariyah as his physical being and physical making, physical construction. And he was not ready to see into his batin. He was not ready to see towards his ruhaniyah. He was just stuck up into his bashariyah. There were two clear-cut phases of the personality of Prophet. The external aspect of personality was bashariyah. An internal aspect of personality was ruhaniyah and nuraniyah. Internal dimension of personality, internal phase and aspect was nuraniyah, an external and physical, apparently visible phase, an apparently visible aspect and dimension of the personality of Prophet was bashariyah, his physical being, and inside his spiritual being. Because Almighty Allah has already stated, I am going to create a bashar, human being, a man, from this and this, the clay and the smelled mud. This was the declaration regarding his physical and external constitution, regarding his making of bashariyah. And then the very next verse states, Almighty Allah said in Surah Al-Hijr, he stated, فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. Almighty Allah had never commanded to prostrate Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam just after the completion of his bashariyah. He never commanded to prostrate in front of him just soon after completion of bashariyah. No, he said after completion of bashariyah, after completion of his physical making, after completion of his physical and external constitution. Then he stated, فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, then I will concentrate towards completion of his batin. Then I will complete his spiritual position. Then I will complete his internal and spiritual angle, internal and spiritual dimension, internal and spiritual aspect of personality. So he completed the personality of the Prophet in two phases. Firstly, the physical bashariyah phase was completed. That was min salsalin min hamain masnoon. That was from dust, and that was from clay, and that was from water, and that was from sticky clay, and that was from the mud, and so forth. Then he stated, Faiza, after that, he will complete the internal batini aspect of his personality. Every personality has two aspects, Zahir and Batin. Almighty Allah Himself has Zahir, two attributes. He is Al-Zahir and He is Al-Batin. But His being Zahir and His being Batin is in its own sense as Almighty Allah has decided to be. The same we possess a Zahir and we possess a Batin. Every sin has a Zahir and every sin has a Batin. Even the sinful acts have Zahir and sinful acts have Batin. Every act of piety, righteousness, it has a Zahir and Batin. Innamal a'malu bin niyyat. All amal, good acts and deeds are based on the niyyah. So the motive and incentive, that is in fact the batin of an amal, batin of an act and deed. And apparent performance is the zahir of that act and zahir of that deed. So every act which is to be awarded or rewarded by Almighty Allah is dimensional. Its external aspect and its internal aspect. External aspect is an aspect which is clearly visible to everyone. This is physical aspect, this is visible. Everyone can see, everyone can assess, everyone can visualize. So it is apparent vision, in your apparent vision. Internal aspect is the niyyah or irada, intention or motive or incentive behind that act. That is in fact a spiritual position, non-physical position. It is the internality, inner self. It is known as batin. So it is not physically visible. So zahir everybody can see. Batin, Almighty Allah sees our batin. So every act has a zahir and batin. Whether act of piety or act of sin. I am explaining this thing because there may be some people denying the concept of Zahir and Batin. They may say, no, this is a flaw, this is a concocted thing by some Sufis and spiritual people and Sufiya, and some people just they have concocted it on their own. They have created it. This thing has no basis in Quran and Sunnah. So this would be an ignorance from Quran and Sunnah, saying that there is no concept of Zahir and Batin. This is a Quranic concept. This is a Quranic concept in Quranic verses. Even in connection of Wahi, revelation, all scholars of Islam, without any single exception, the Wahi, revelation is divided into two kinds. Wahy Zahir and Wahy Batin. Revelation is Zahir and Batin. Wahy Zahir means Al-Wahy Al-Jali. Al-Wahy Al-Jali. Wahy Al-Jali. And Wahy Batin means Al-Wahy Al-Khafi. So Quran is known to be Al-Wahy Al-Jali, Zahir. And Hadith of Holy Prophet ﷺ is known to be Al-Wahy Al-Khafi, that is Batin. Why? That Quran is the revelation, divine revelation in letter and meanings both. This is not the case that only meanings were revealed to Holy Prophet ﷺ on his heart and the words were created by Holy Prophet. No. Quran is Allah's divine revelation in the words. So the words of Holy Quran is revelation. They are revelation. And the meanings of those Quranic words are again revelation. So both things were revealed to Holy Prophet ﷺ, the words of Quranic verses and their meanings. Even the arrangement and the order of surahs and the names of surah, from Alhamd to Wan-Nas, each and everything which you recite, the arrangement, the order, the words, the verses, the surahs, names of the chapters, everything was expressly revealed by Almighty Allah through the angel Jibreel. So this Quran is known to be Al-Wahy Al-Jali. This is revelation in Zahir, in apparent. obvious. And hadith of Holy Prophet ﷺ is also unanimously known to be the wahi. Unanimous. There is no disagreement on that. This is also wahi of Almighty Allah. But this is al-wahi al-khafi, batin, because the words were not revealed unto Holy Prophet ﷺ. Words of the holy, words are the words of Holy Prophet ﷺ. He uttered these words. This is his speaking, his utterance, his speech. And the meanings, these are divinely revealed. The meanings of hadith are divine revelation in batin and in khafi. Meanings, intentions, objectives, message included, contained by the hadith, messages, the meanings carried on. These are wahi. Because وَمَا يَنْتِكُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ in Surah An-Najm. Whatever Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaks, whatever he utters from his mouth, any word, any sentence he utters, he takes out of his mouth. وَمَا يَنْتِكُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. Whatever he says is wahi. He doesn't utter a single word from his mouth out of his own wish. Not a single word of his speech, not a single word of his utterance, not a single word of his speech is based on his own personal wish or personal desire or personal choice. No. Whatever he says is wahi, in meanings, in objectives, in implication, in its significance. Whatever he says, message-wise, meaning-wise, is wahi of Almighty Allah, because the meanings are revealed and communicated spiritually on the heart of Holy Prophet ﷺ. So he speaks on the basis of wahi. But words he used in hadith are his own words. They are not divinely revealed unto him through angel Jibreel. So if the words used by the Holy Prophet ﷺ are not revealed by Almighty Allah through Jibreel, these words are of his own words of his language, then it is hadith. And if the words were also revealed on Holy Prophet ﷺ through the angel Jibreel, then this becomes wahi jali. This is Quran. So you see, even our wahi, we read Quran and hadith, these are zahir and batin. So Quran is zahir in wahi and batin too. And hadith is batin in wahi and not zahir. So everything in Islam possesses one zahir, one batin. So you cannot comprehend anything. You cannot understand any concept in totality. You cannot perceive or conceive any concept, anything. You cannot conceive in totality unless you understand at the same time its position of zahir and its position of batin. As I told of sinful acts, the ism, and as I told of the acts of piety. And the same is the position of knowledge. Knowledge has a zahir and knowledge has a batin. It is in Sahih, it is in Hadith, narrated by Hazrat Imam Hassan al-Basri. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Al-ilmu ilman. Ilmun fil qalbi wa ilmun ala al-lisan. فَأَمَّا الْأَوَّلُ فَذَاكَ الْعِلْمُ النَّافِعُ فَأَمَّا الْآخَرُ فَذَاكَ حُجَّةُ اللَّهِ عَلَى ابْنِ آدَمَ. وَكَمَا قَالَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. Holy Prophet ﷺ said that knowledge is of two kinds. One is the knowledge in heart and one is the knowledge on the tongue. Knowledge which emerges from heart, which comes out from the fountain of a heart. And the other is the knowledge which is uttered from our tongues, from our mouth. So one is the verbal knowledge, other one is cordial knowledge. Al-ilmun fil qalb, another ilm ala lisan. For the first one, that which emerges out of the fountain of heart and fountain of soul. That is the ilmul batin. Farmaya fazakar ilmun nafi. This is in fact really the useful and beneficial knowledge. So whatever is in batin is really the useful one and the beneficial one. And the second, which we speak out, which we propagate through our tongue, through our means of writing and means of speaking, that is compulsory and mandatory on human beings. That comes in fard and wajib and sunnah, and that comes in haram and makruh and mustahab or mubah. So these has the legal positions. The legal positions lie here in the knowledge of zahir, and the spiritual positions lie here in the knowledge of batin. And totality comes when you combine the both. Then it becomes knowledge in toto. Same is the case of the Quranic meanings and Quranic knowledge. Although the subject of zahir and batin is apparently out of the ambit of the subject of today, but in a way this is directly related and possesses a very significant impact and concern with the subject. To understand why we are saying Bashariya was the zahir of the Prophet and Nuraniya was the batin of Prophet.